Alright, here we go with another video. Today, I am going to be replacing the drive shaft, or drive tube anyways, or the extension arm, whatever you want to call it, on this pole saw. It's a very common thing for landscapers to break. So yeah. So we're going to take the head off, take the coupler off, and then slide that bad boy out. And it's pretty straightforward. This is not a hard job to do, but this is an older model. The older models are a little easier. Newer models are a little bit more tricky, but there's the new drive tube there, and I reuse everything but the tube. And as you can see, it is bent pretty good. So it happens when they like get in, or they you know, put in between two different limbs or whatever and drop it, or you know, get stepped on. A few different reasons, but so we're going to transfer over the guts. So I'm going to reuse the drive shaft part in it. It's pretty strong stuff, and it was rubbing a little bit. You know, they used it for a little bit, but it's not worth repairing. This customer wanted to be cheap, obviously, because they're using an older machine. So once you pull in the drive shaft, the inner liner will come out with it. There's a little coupler on the bottom, a little bitty, like a little sleeve almost on the very bottom of that kind of pulls. When you pull on the shaft, it pulls up the liner as well. So we're taking I'm going to take the liner off and just kind of clean the shaft off awkwardly, but yeah. So once you pull that out, I clean all the grease out, and because a lot of that's just kind of corrosion. These don't take that much grease, and whatever's in the liner is usually good enough. I don't grease them unless it's been heavily used, and I just kind of get the debris out of it. The liner is still slightly bent, but once it's in the tube, it'll be straight. So put the shaft back in, make sure that little coupler's on the end there. As you can see, there's a little metal piece on the end. In the coupler, you have to twist it because it only goes one way inside of the drive tube. So keep that in mind when you slide that new drive shaft in with the coupler piece, or the little sleeve. You have to twist that sleeve around until it drops in there. So then once you slide your shaft in, it'll go towards, it'll protrude, it'll be flush with the bottom bearing, and then slide the liner in. Sorry, it's a little bit off camera here, but I just slid the liner in right over it, and this is how much of the drive shaft should be sticking out. So it should be partially sticking out, and that's kind of the way it connects to the head. And yeah, so as you can see inside the drive tube there, or the main tube, there's another drive shaft, the spline piece. So right here, I'm just trying to align the two. So once you align the drive shaft, so I'm kind of twisting and popping it up and down. If not, you have to disassemble the tube and everything, and this is just to prevent disassembling everything, because then you gotta take the shroud off and the fan housing, all that stuff. And yeah, so as you can see, I got it in there, and I went to put this piece on, the coupler on, and whoever messed with this had it put on backwards. So I tried to hit it, and it does not go on. I'm thinking it's because the clamp is too tight, but it wouldn't slide. It just slide on very easily. So there's a clamp, and there's an actual coupler on the inside that's directional, and it can only go one way as well. And it has some notches in the tube. So as you can see, I flip it around. I'm like, it's the wrong way. What the hell? And then I slide the little coupler piece on. I've used coupler like 3 different times, but I don't know what to call these pieces. But as you can see, it slid right into place, and then slide the main clamp over and tighten it down. I usually like to do these with the tightening knob facing upward. From the factory, I believe they're faced to the side, but this is how I like to assemble them. So then you slide the head on. Make sure you slide the head on all the way to where there's no gap in the side. Like if you look at this, look at me looking at the side right there, because you can literally look inside there and see a gap. If you see a gap in there, that means the head is not all the way on. So tighten it down, and you're pretty much ready to rock. That's pretty much it. So make sure you align it as well with the head, because you don't want to be going to cut and the head is twisted, or the chain drive is twisted around or whatever. You want it to be nice and straight. As you can see, when I set it down, it's flat, everything lines up, good to go. And this thing cracks pretty good. It's this machine is in good shape. It's been well taken care of. And yeah, so you're gonna see me test it. And chain spinning, everything's working as intended. And that's easy peasy lemon squeezy. And then I'm just gonna make sure it retracts, and you know, there's no binding or anything. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this job here. Wasn't too complicated, and there you go. It extends out, goes back in nice and smooth. It's spring loaded, springs were in there. I didn't take any of that apart, so you don't have to mess with that. And that's all she wrote for this job. Thank you guys for watching.